early on. Yeah, hey there, welcome, YouTube fans, friends, new recruits, and veterans to the channel. We are once again back with Scourge of War, Gettysburg Remastered. It's a live stream tonight in a big what-if scenario from the Battle of Gettysburg. This is still on 2nd July, 1863, and I've been excited to do this for quite some time now. I can't lie. I was very tempted to do kind of like I did with the last scenario, which is to record ahead of time and go back and watch it with you as kind of like a premiere here on the live stream. But I think we're just going to go ahead and play this live. We're going to do it live, like Bill O'Reilly. We're going to jump into... Oh, by the way, I want to say thank you to everybody who watched the last stream. It's been incredible, the positive support that it's gotten, the number of views it's gotten, the number of likes and everything. Appreciate that. A reminder for those of you who are fans of the channel, if you see this content and you happen to like it right off the rip here, go ahead, click that thumbs up button for me. It would be really helpful. Subscribe to the channel, and you'll be doing me this solid. Let's go to the Gettysburg battles and get to our scenario for tonight. So what we're looking at here is to play as Sickles' Third Corps, right? 4 p.m. start south of Gettysburg. As I'd mentioned, a major question associated with the Battle of Gettysburg is the Third Corps position, the one chosen by Sickles far in advance of the position assigned to him by Meade. This what-if situation positions Sickles' Third Corps in his assigned position to meet Longstreet's attack. So we'll be covering the left flank. This is going to be a 1-hour scenario. I might go ahead and just continue playing. You know, we'll see. I like to try to stream for longer than an hour. But we'll see where we're at. Usually playing defense is easier in general, in military terms, in game too, since it's a really great simulation. We can take a look at what we have available to us. Sickles' Corps, sizable, I would say. We'll try to remember so that the brigades are just gigantic in a couple of cases. Carr, Ward, even Graham, and we've got we'll have to remember the sharpshooters in Ward's brigade as we get going, right? Brewster's a pretty good sized brigade. Bunch of New Yorkers. All right. Got some Indiana and Maine troops here with Ward. Let's read a little bit about General Daniel E. Sickles. It's a guy that I think is kind of like an interesting and somewhat controversial figure in the war. Really, by many accounts, an accomplished guy, capable, I think is a good word to use, a general for the Union at the time. Daniel Edgar Sickles, born October 20th, 1819, all the way to his death May 3rd, 1914, a colorful and controversial American politician, Union general and diplomat. On July 2nd, 1863, Armed Potomac Commander Major General George G. Meade ordered Sickles' Corps to take up defensive positions on the southern end of Cemetery Ridge, anchored in the north on the 2nd Corps, and in the south on the hill known as Little Round Top. Sickles was unhappy to see a slightly higher terrain feature to his front, the Peach Orchard. He maybe remembered the beating that his corps had taken from Confederate artillery on the elevation of what was called Hazel Grove during the not-so-decent recent Battle of Chancellorsville. Sickles, violating his orders, advanced his corps almost a mile to the west of Cemetery Ridge. Now, this had two effects. It greatly diluted the defensive position of his corps, stretching it very thin. It created a salient that could be bombarded and attacked from several sides. Meade rode out and confronted Sickles about his insubordination, but by that time it was too late. The Confederate assault by Lieutenant General James Longstreet's corps, primarily by the division of General Lafayette McLaws, smashed the 3rd Corps and rendered it useless for further combat. Sickles fell victim to a cannonball that mangled his right leg during the fighting. Carried by stretcher to an aid station, he bravely attempted to raise his soldiers' spirits by grinning and puffing on a cigar while being carried away on a stretcher. His leg was amputated that afternoon, and he insisted on being transported back to Washington, D.C. at once. He reached the capital July 4th, after the battle was over, bringing first news of the great Union victory and starting a public relations campaign to ensure that his version of the battle would prevail. I believe that really gets into the main thrust of sort of a defense of Sickles about why he advanced on the peach orchard. But let's take a look at the map directly and see for ourselves, kind of what he was looking at. All right, so let's go ahead for now. I'm going to push the pause button just to get ourselves acquainted with what we have in front of us, our forces. I think it's apt for us to take a little time here on that. And you can see already, if he'd stayed up here, his troops would have this heavily walled section of the battle line to deploy on. Granted, from a tactical perspective, it's also a little bit tricky because, if the Rebs happen to push troops off of this stone wall, then they can use this stone wall to fight against my troops that end up on this stone wall, if you're following me. So say my troops are here, and they get pushed back to here. It would be a real slugfest in this area, kind of between units that are here and here. And if the Revs managed to push me off here, they would get to use this stone wall, and then I would get to use this one. So it's a complex defense. It's definitely a hard point in the line. I would say that much. So I like having that feature. I figured I'd mention that. What else we got? This is new. You're kind of encountering this all at the same time. I'm giving myself a little time with the pause button, as I think would be the case in real life. Sickles has spent hours recon and such around here. We've got another stone wall we can use here. And these woods, the Trossel Woods. We may end up along this fence line. It's going to be a pretty cut and dry defense, it seems like, over this area. As was the case in history, no troops on Little Round Top to speak of. Yet, anyway. What I may do at the very beginning is to move a battery up here. Have them firing. Then you got Devil's Den. Right away, we do have some artillery up there. This is kind of the same position that Ward's brigade was in history. Here at Devil's Den and through this portion of Rose Woods. So that's familiar, at least, right? It'll be, I think, a pretty bloody fight in the Rose Woods, as was the case in history. We still have a skirmish line that's been pushed out front. Right? With the 3rd Maine. What kind of weapons do they have, by the way? Rifle, musket. Do we have... where is the... let's go down to Ward. Where is this? Where are the sharpshooters at? Ah, okay. All right, so they're guarding the front edge of these woods. the Trossel Woods. That's not a bad position for him. I like that spot. That's. I don't know too much of the study of where Sickles would have placed his troops had he stayed put, but that's a pretty good spot for him, no doubt about it. And then we've got the other unit here along. Oh, okay. They're meant to harass anybody that tries coming up and around Devil's Den, so we'll use them in that capacity for sure. Let's go ahead and take command of both of those units. Oh, we can't do anything yet because it's paused. Okay, that's fine. All right, so we got to kind of look at our line here. And I don't do anything. I don't, and I love how the game kind of doesn't let you do anything while it's paused. I love that. This is pretty much our reserve brigade, Graham, right here. Okay. Of Birney's division. Birney is here. And Humphreys is here. And here. And here. Right? And I guess what we could expect is perhaps, and this is something, I have no idea. This is a blind playthrough. I've never touched this scenario ever. Oh, the other thing that's important to know is in this scenario, you do have all of this stuff from the 5th Corps that looks like on the move. I don't trust that they're going to take positions on the far left of the line, but I don't know. I think I'm going to give them the chance before I do anything too much with my reserve brigade here. Only people I'm going to send are the artillery. So let's go ahead and let's get this baby underway, babe. Here we go. First move. Boom. Artillery up to Little Round Top, please. Right here. That'll be good. Then we want to come over here to our sharpshooters. Let's go ahead and use this. Right, use the OOB. And let's go ahead and push them down. We'll take command of them and we'll even detach. Let's push them down to here. Definitely a fan of detaching these units that we have as skirmishers out front. I think it's smart. We'll probably be using them kind of in that way. Boom, take command to detach. All right. Guns are set up pretty well right there. I think I want to take, let's take you, Burling's brigade. Let's take command of him. Let's set him up on this road right here, kind of like this, in line, just like that. And what I'll do is I'll stop them by the, for each regiment as they get closer and closer. And we'll just make another little neck of the defense right there along Plum Run. And to help out there, I think we're going to take this brigade of Carr, this gigantic brigade, and we'll kind of post them where that brigade was. Let's go ahead and go dink and go double line. Right, good. All right, let's go back to me. And Sickles, being the brave man that he is, we're going to go ahead and get up front near the men. I've really never quite known how realistic or unrealistic it would be getting the guns up here like this. I don't know too much about. I mean, gosh, you got boulders everywhere. That would be. It would be difficult. The other thing, we're going to make sure that this guy, let's keep him in command, and let's make sure we bring him to within range of this objective here. And then the next thing is I want to look at the map and see what we got. We got a whole corps under our command here, so we're already looking at Hood. Yep. On the move. It appears 5th Corps is not yet moving. Are they doing a deal where Warren? No. Okay, no, that's Sickles. Never mind. Silly. I should have known by the insignia. Okay, well. I think what I'll do is I'll detach the best 3 regiments of this brigade. So these guys will take command and detach. Take command and detach. Right. Let's get these guys up here. Let's go. We may end up forming some skirmish lines over there. We'll see. This last one we'll put here. Okay.